Today I'm going to try and show you how to do a VLookup. I'm going to be using Excel 2016, although it should be pretty much the same between 2013, 2010. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I just learned how to do this myself and I need practice, and I oftentimes get better at things when I try to show them to somebody else. So you're not going to get this lesson from an expert in doing VLookup. You're just going to get a lesson from a guy who had to get something done, found some things on the internet to help get it done, and now I need some practice. So I'm going to show you what I did, and hopefully that'll help you see how to do a VLookup of your own. So my problem here was that I had a report called FBA inventory. This is an inventory of products that I have over at Amazon, and my problem is that I need to find out some pieces of information about this inventory which is missing from this report, namely what the description of the product is and what the current price of the product is. So as you can see here, if I'm trying to figure out how much inventory I have and what it might be worth, I am missing data. I don't know what these ASINs, these are like part numbers, and I don't know, how much they sell for. So what I did here is I took a different report called active listings, which gives me all that, but it gives me too much data. And so what I'm going to do is use this report and the other report to get what I want. And so I think there's a way to do this with two different Excel sheets, but for simplicity, I'm just going to highlight everything. I'm going to go to my other sheet here and make myself a tab where I paste all that data. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is try this VLookup here. So what we're going to do here is go description and price. Make myself a couple columns to fill this in, and then we'll try this VLookup. This is actually going to be two VLookups that we're going to do, but that'll be a good thing to show you. So first thing you do is you start in the cell where you want the information to land, and then you go and look for the function icon. Maybe a right click. Nope. It's usually up on the top here, maybe under data. Depends on what version of Excel you're using, but oops, not file, home. Like I said, I'm not an Excel expert, so this is going to be a lot like your experience if you're not an Excel expert. Insert function. We're looking for function. Formulas. Okay, formulas on 2016. What we're looking for is this icon. This icon is the same on 2013, etc. We're going to click insert function. We would normally type VLookup and hit go to find it, but as you can see here, it's the top one. So I'm just going to double click. Now what it's going to do here is get me set up to do this VLookup. So the first part is you have to tell it, okay, what do we want to look up? And so in my case, I need to look up, and what it's referring to is on this other sheet, because we want to learn the description of the product that matches this ASIN or part number. We want to say, hey, if this part number is on that sheet, what's the description of that product? So what we're going to say is, okay, what we want to look up is this. And when I click in that, as you can see, it adds C2. It's just putting the name of the cell. So far what VLookup is saying is, okay, what am I going to look up? So far it doesn't know where it's going to look it up, but what am I going to look up? And because I want to search for a part number, I'm just going to click in this top cell. And you might be saying, well, why aren't you highlighting this whole thing? And it's because once I know this VLookup works, I'm just going to copy and go and paste it all down. But first I want to get one cell to work right. So I've clicked there, and as you can see on the right side, it's very helpful. It shows me what it's looking up. So I can see that when I did click on C2, it's actually saying, okay, I'm going to look up this part number. Okay, so the next part, this is a little bit harder. This is table array, and what this seems to mean is show me the columns in which that data that you want to look up is going to be found. So you could select one column, like for example another column for ASIN or part number, but because also it's the table that contains the thing that you want to bring forward into this sheet, meaning like my product description, you have to highlight a whole bunch of columns. And so what you do is you click on table array, go over to the tab where the data is, and you want to highlight all the columns that concern what you're doing. So for example, here's my description in column B. Here's my ASIN in column Q. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of these columns because this is my table array. This is the table in which my lookup is concerned as well as my return of data is concerned. Okay, so as you can see here, what it did is it says active listings, bang, and what it means is that's the tab, and then B:Q, that's the range. Okay, now the other thing to get into our next field here is called column index number, and what it's saying is, okay, the information that's going to be returned, if we were to take these columns B through Q and number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, the data we want to bring forth, which in my case is item description, what number column is that? And so in my case, it's the first column, so it's going to be number 1. Okay? Now range lookup, this is always false. This is the easiest one. You simply put that in capital letters. And so as you can see, what Excel has done on the right side is said, okay, I'm going to look up this ASIN. I'm going to look it up in this array. Column 1 is what's going to be returned, and false. I can't even explain what false is, but you can read here, and probably somewhere else somebody can teach you exactly what it is. But what I know is I just put false every time. So I'm going to hit OK. And as you can see here, I got NA, which means it means one of two things. Either this ASIN wasn't found, or I've got a problem with my VLookup. So what we're going to do, first of all, to test that is I'm going to do a search in here for this ASIN. And sure enough, I found it, which means I got a problem with my VLookup. Now, I'm pretty confident that my VLookup is okay, but the thing to learn is that when VLookup does a search, for example, this part number, it starts in the far left column, and I think that's maybe all it searches or something. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that the column where your data that is going to be searched, you need to make sure that it is to the left. Probably the best thing to do is make it the first thing in your table array, something like that. So in this case, I'm going to do a cut and paste, so that way from B to whatever Q, it's going to be the number 1. And then what I'm going to do here is go back over to my VLookup, and I'm going to check it here. So C2, that's still good. Active listings, C through Q, that's still good, but my columns have moved. So what I need to do is look at where my description is here. And now as you can see, from B to Q, my description is column 2. So the thing I want to return is not 1 anymore, it's 2. Now let's see if that works. No, it doesn't work. Okay. C2, active listing, C through Q, 2 false. Okay, well, keep looking here. So ASIN 1, B through Q. Is that what it says? C2. Ah, B through Q. Okay. Now this is interesting. It gave me a description of 0 when I wanted the actual, oh wait, yeah. So what we need to do is go, okay, column 2 must be off because it found my ASIN, but it returned 0, which means 1, 2. Well, let's look again here. B through Q. 2. So I'm a little confused. So what I'm going to do is go find this ASIN. And I want to see what is 0. Interesting. Okay, so let me expand out. I think what I did was something wrong. Item description, I chose the wrong thing. What I really should have done is A through whatever. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this column. I kind of wrecked this training here because of the way I kind of messed it up, but maybe this will be helpful because you'll see how you have to fix stuff. I thought I really wanted item name, not item description. So what I'm going to do here is show you how to fix this VLookup so that you can see how how you would fix it. So turns out what I thought I wanted isn't what I really wanted. I had item description, what I really want is item name. So what I'm going to do here is just fix this. I'm now going to be searching in column A here, and I'm going to have the data I want returned in column B, which means I got to go over to my VLookup. Let's see here. Okay. All right, so I'm still searching C2. I've got A through Q. That's pretty cool. Actually, this is perfect now. This is perfect. So what it's saying here is, okay, we want to look up this part number, because it says C2, equal VLookup, that's your function, colon C2. That's the first part of the VLookup. Active listings, bang, that's my tab here. Our table array is A through Q, and the second table, or not second table, the second column in our array, so if we were to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way over to Q, the second column in our array is my item name, which is what I really wanted. That's what I want it to display every time it finds a part number that is that. And then false, which is, I don't know what that means, but that's what that is, and therefore it returned that this particular item at Amazon is a 9-year bronze AA medallion. So if I want to look at for these, all I got to do is do a copy and paste, and as you can see here, it did the same exact lookup for all those other items. Okay, now let me show you one other thing, because the second question I needed to answer is, okay, that's great, I now know what this is. It's already telling me my quantity. Now I know what the description is, but I need to value this inventory, so I need to know what the price is over at Amazon, and that's another thing that was missing from here. So what we're going to do is just another VLookup. Now I could just do a copy paste over here and then fix it, but because we had such an ordeal with that other thing, I want to show you I want to just redo the VLookup and see if we have better luck this time. So starting over, what we're going to do is go over to the price column here. I'm going to hit escape to make that go away. I'm going to go to my formulas. I'm going to insert function, choose VLookup, and we're going to say lookup value. So again, we're going to do the ASIN thing again. So that worked really well. I'm going to start with my part number, which is in C2. I'm going to click in the second thing to set that table array. The table array is where is my item that I need to bring forward, and also where is that part number. So I'm going to go A through F, because I can see that that contains everything I need. So as you can see, it says active listings bang A colon F. That defined that table array. Now the column underscore index underscore number, that's the column to which has the data we want to bring forward to the next one. So what I'm going to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Column number 6 has my price. So I'm going to say column 6. I'm going to say false. And I'm going to say OK. And as you can see here, this is working because I've got my lookup part number. I've got my table array set. I've got my column there. False, and right here is where Excel has given me the answer to the question. And if you don't have an answer, it means you got a problem with your VLookup. So I'm just going to say OK, and as you can see here now, I now know what this is, I know what it costs, and so then I can just do a copy and paste, copy, paste, and I now have my answer that I was looking for. So hopefully this helps you to learn how to do a VLookup, in terms of seeing a real-world problem and fixing the real-world problem, as well as seeing what can go wrong when you're doing a VLookup, which in my case was that when you're saying to look up something like part number, that thing that you're looking up has to be on the very most left of your table array. So just, if you can, just move it to the left column 1 of your table array, and then your thing that you want to bring forward can be anywhere in the table array. It's just that you got to account for the column number when you're setting that VLookup. Thank you very much.